Hello, thanks for tuning in. So yes, the latest, the flavour of the month is the social influencer. And influence is a huge notion. The bacteria in our guts influence the way we think about food. Our mums influence, our dads influence us, our peers influence us, our teachers. We've been influenced in so many different ways. You know, nature, the total aesthetic of nature has influenced us in myriad ways, and it has prompted us to paint, to become artists, it has prompted us to go looking for it because we've been influenced by its order, by its patterns, by its majestic state of plays, if you will. So yes, influence. So I guess I'm a social influencer. So what am I about? What am I trying to influence you to see? I mean, there are people on social media right now that are trying to influence you to wear makeup because they're working for some brand, or they're trying to influence you to, enlarge your breasts or enlarge your penis, or to have a car, or to have this car, or to have this house, and to have this kind of status. So influence plays a huge part in our lives. We're caught up in it. We influence. The fly influences the shit, and the shit influences the fly. You know, we're fused with an ecological pool, a green pool and a meta pool, and we're influenced by it, and we influence it, and so on. So influence. I'm trying to influence you. So yes, influence. And there's two sides to influence. We can influence, through a good, clean network of thought, or we can influence through manipulation. And let's face it, the devil has integrated with our mind and heart and influenced us in a very negative way. And by the devil, I mean the system, the serpent. And by the system, I mean the serpent that swims through our eye. The crooked serpent that swims in all our heads and gives rise to this abomination, this system that governs us all. This system that is influencing us in ways, it's corrupting our children, it's corrupting our mind and spirit. It's the devil's, it's the serpent's eye within all, playing a dirty game and having its way over us. It's influencing in huge ways, as I've said. We've been influenced, to see each other through divisive lines. We've been influenced to think about this world as having different class systems, different class distinctions, and that's a dirty influence. So I'm all about trying to influence you too, and why not? I often talk about love, and that's a nice influence, a nice way to influence. We should all respect the sovereignty of each and every individual being on the planet, and that's a nice way to think, and I'm not the only person trying to influence you to see in that way. But, influence. What am I trying to influence you to see? I'm trying to influence you to think about our species in a positive light. Not only that, in a monumental light, in a majestic light. We are a majestic species, irrespective of our wrongs. We are rising out of the dark of a monkey brain. We're not long into abstraction, we're not long into complex language and so on. So we're doing our best given the circumstances of life. And we're trying to influence one another to come together at humanity's table in a beautiful, majestic way. And that's monumental about us. So not only, if you've been listening to my streams and so on, I'm trying to influence you to see the mind through a systemic lens. I'm trying to influence you to see the mind through a systemic lens. I'm trying to influence you to see this majestic, complex, phenomenal tool that sits in the bed of every single being's head. And just because it's not utilized properly doesn't mean it's not there. You might not be a Kung Fu expert, but you can utilize your hands and legs and body in the correct manner and embody Kung Fu. So the mind is in you. The full capacity of this system is within all, but it's just not being utilized. It's kind of automatically works within all, but bringing your mind to the attention of it is a different field. And I'm trying to influence you to see that. But not only that, I'm trying to influence you to understand, like I said, how majestic and monumentally complex and huge and intelligent we are as a species. Let me influence you to see children. There are children in the ghettos right now who cannot spell perspective. They enter school and they fail school. I'm just going to use a silly analogy, but they cannot spell perspective, so they lose a point. But they can hold perspective with reality. They can embody perspective. I've spoken about this before. They can embody the perspective of the rainforest, the perspective of the planets. They can embody the perspective of the ocean and how it's all connected to one ecological network. We can all embody that because we can all hold perspective with us. And this has magnitude within all of us. I'm trying to influence you to see that. This has magnitude within all of us. So if you can't, it's like saying to Bruce Lee, you can't spell Kung Fu, so you fail your exam. But Kung Fu is where the intelligence is. So you can spell perspective, so you lose the exam, okay? You lose a point. But the fact that you can hold perspective is where intelligence is. And we can all hold perspective. You can hold perspective with me right now. You can hold perspective with the notion of influence. and so on. So perspective lets us think with evolutionary theories. It lets us think with spiritual theories. It lets us think with theories of equality and love and harmony and tenderness and sacredness and truth and honor and dignity and so on. It lets us think with a beautiful notion, the notion of affirmations, what it is to affirm one another. I'm trying to affirm you right now. I'm trying to affirm you. I'm trying to get you to confirm what we are within. I'm trying to get you to affirm that. I'll talk about affirmations another time. It's a stunning concept. But anyway, to influence one another. So yes, I'm trying to influence you to see that we are all one measure when it comes to this seeing systemic eye. And it's this one ring to rule them all. It is this systemic eye that allows us to construct our minds around the various knowledge beds that give us access to this reality. You know, you can the system allows you to structure your mind around medicine or farming or landing rockets on the moon, okay, around alphabets, around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, around cooking, around a menu, around getting to an airport. The system is the all-seeing eye that allows you to systemize and construct your place in the correct manner so you can work with the correct geometry of plays and move forward and so on. I'm trying to influence you to see that. But as I said, I'm trying to influence you to see like this eye within all, because you know we've been demeaned, we've been influenced by the serpent that swims within all of us, and we have to stamp it. We have to stamp it down into the monkey brain. We have to stamp it down into the dark of our mind and leave it there forever, because you know it taints the eye, it taints the systemic lens, and because the world has been polluted by the devil's hand, you know we're all a little bit of devil now. Okay, we're all undermining each other and making excuses and justifying our way in the world because we don't really want to look at the whole picture. So. You know, and we need something to grab onto. You know, we need something to grab onto that's solid, that's monumentally solid and monumentally gigantic and monumentally human. And this system is monumentally gigantic and human, whatever human means. There's something about us that is monumentally majestic and intelligent and complex and worth our time in looking at it. So, you know, yes, some people are distinguished because, you know, they have 5 degrees, but people can have 5 degrees in, you know, different fields of knowledge and yet talk shit, you know, at the same time. Okay, you know, you can be a scientist and still be corrupt. Okay, you can speak 5 languages and talk shit in all of them. If you're a snob in all the languages you speak. You know, you don't speak French and you're a snob and you start speaking English and you're all about equality. It doesn't work that way. It's all about the mindset. So yes, so anyway, the point being is, you know, just because somebody has got 5 degrees or 2 degrees or speaks 7 languages, that is one measurement of them, but it's not a measurement of them in relation to intelligence and how intelligent they might be in relation to you. Okay, it's just a, you know, application is a different story. Some people apply their minds to certain fields because of certain variables in life and so on. Some people are more disciplined, it would seem, and so on. But that does not mean these people are more intelligent than everybody else. Okay, we're all loaded with this system within, as I have said, we're all loaded with a transcendental systemic lens that is fit for purpose when it comes to finding our place in the universe and the God that we are. So I'm trying to influence you to see that. So even if you can't get your head around all my systemic talk and all my axioms and a priori concepts and utility modes, even if that's all lost on you, you know, I'm just trying to influence you too, to ask you to see our species in this light, okay? There is something monumentally huge about us, okay? And like I said, we've walked off the path because we're carrying a big lens and we don't know how to drive this car as yet. Okay, we don't fully know how it functions, so we don't know how to run it at an optimal. We know it's in there. You can all feel the existential spill of this universe. You're all connected, okay? You can all grab perspective of it because we are monumentally wired and fused to see it that way. So yes, I'm a social influencer. I guess I am. So I'm trying to influence you to see that. And when you see that, you will have a better measure, a better understanding of what we are and what you're up against and what is coming to the table with you, to sit with you. Okay, and that has to give us hope and some kind of light to guide us in the dark. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Peace and love and logic.